WordPress. Now, obviously, if you take managed WordPress hosting, then WordPress will come installed. But if you take shared hosting, or if you take free hosting, then you may have to install the WordPress. And typically, there is a cPanel that is used for installing, that for managing your hosting in that sense, so managing your server. And this is what your cPanel might look like, and it has many sections within that. So this is what your cPanel will look like, and you can actually you will need to set up your domain or a subdomain, as the case might be, in your cPanel. I'm sorry, excuse me, sorry about that. Click somewhere else. And then once you are ready for that, cPanel typically has this application installer, which is here, and you can actually click on the application installer, search for applications browser. Click here on the applications browser, search for WordPress. And just basically it's fairly simple. Click on a few buttons, enter a few fields, and you can install your WordPress. So let's say I'm going to install WordPress, and I want to install this application. And it'll ask me for my, where I want to install it, what domain I want to install it. You can buy domain and hosting from different providers, but it's just easier if you buy it from the same provider. It just makes it easier. Otherwise, thoda sa technical ho jata hai to link the two. So let's say I want to install it in. I have created a subdomain called shop.LearnAndLead.in. I don't want to give it any subdirectory. I will take the highest version, whichever is available. I'll leave most of these as default settings. I can add an admin name. Ideally, avoid user IDs like admin or shop or administrator and things like that. Highly avoidable, because those are prone to hacking by hackers, because those are common IDs. So you could say I could take shop manager or something else, any other different name than an administrator or so on. And you give a password. Try and sort of give a complicated password. Again, these days it's important to have those, because passwords are being leaked and it's relatively easy to hack. So I'm gonna say Manish Mohan, and I'm gonna say, give me a good name for a shop. Let's say Sunshine Shop. Okay, and so a website tagline. And again, I'm not going to set up any of these two-factor authentications and all. And I just click on install, and it will go ahead and install the WordPress on it. Depending on your hosting provider. Now, remember, all this processing is not really happening on my machine. It's happening on cloud on the hosting provider. So depending on how much hosting you have and how fast your hosting provider is, it may take some time or it may take a longer time and so on. So it's installed as Sunshine Shop, so it's still installing. So once it installs it, you can then go ahead and start to manage it and add plugins. WooCommerce being the main plugin that you will initially add. And then add plugins as you go along. So it's as simple as this, and it allows me to, there is my domain name is shop.learn.in, LearnAndLead.in, and I can actually go to the admin. So typically the WordPress administrator site is /WP admin. Now, remember, this is the first time that I'm starting this website, this WordPress instance. And the first time it will ask me, what theme I want to select. So I say starter templates and I want to create an online store. So I'll see online store. There are, these are typically the free themes that are available. You can select one and you can obviously change it later. But this is the free themes that are available at this point in time. So let's say fashion and beauty. There are these themes, Nova, Authentic, Avenue, whatever. So let's you can do a preview. And this is what your theme might look like. And let's just start with this template. Doesn't matter. We'll change it. We can change it later. This is WooCommerce asking you a few basic information so that it can configure the website for you, the instance for you. So you want to write blog posts. You may not want to display portfolio. You just want to sell, for example. You can decide to say, I also want to sell digital goods for downloading. And I select that, and you can choose one of these options or decide to skip them, and it will sort of install the template for you. So
Manish, one instance of WordPress, you can have multiple sites hosted on this, is it?
no. So it depends on what domain. So on that one domain, you can have only one instance of WordPress.
But in the last couple of minutes, we saw there was Sankalang Art Gallery also, Inverted Mushrooms also. So they are different domains, right? But they were
Yeah,
all on the same page.
No. So they are all on the same cPanel. So in my hosting, I can have multiple domains. On the same hosting, I can have multiple domains, and on each domain, I can have one instance of WordPress.
Okay. So we have to install an instance of WordPress for each domain.
That's
and
right.
then we can add multiple pages, which will be like xyz.domain.com. And that XYZ could also be combined with abc.samedomainname.com and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that is what is called a subdomain.
Okay.
Okay, so there is the domain which is, say, LearnAndLead.com. Then there is a subdomain called shop.learnandlead.in.
Okay.
I could have another subdomain called sunshine.learnandlead.in. So that is from a domain perspective, but you could also have directories. So I could have learnandlead.in/shop.
Okay.
In which case the website is learnandlead.in. It's just in that different folder.
Okay. And from a commercial perspective, does having a subdomain means that you have to register all subdomains vis-a-vis having a directory structure?
No. So you buy one domain. So I have bought learnandlead, for example, .in.
Okay.
I can create as many subdomains under that.
Okay.
Or I can have different folder structures also under that.
Okay. Thanks.
थोड़ा सा technical है everybody else basically, but from this webinar's point of view, we'll just sort of stick to this easier. So here your e-commerce website is actually ready, and this is what your e-commerce website looks like, and it actually has all, you can have products, you can click on a product, and it will have the product name, it has the price. You can add this product. You can say, I want 2 of these, and add product to the cart. It has some additional information, and it has the footer, social links and everything else. So you can say, I want to add to cart. I can click on add to cart, and it adds. This is, I can say, okay, I want to continue shopping, or I want to check out. I actually have the option of adding coupon codes. Everything, your e-commerce website is practically ready. Kind of. So it is ready, but not completely. So that is the tip of the iceberg. The rest of the work is all there. So I can actually go to proceed to checkout and complete the billing information and so on and so forth. So it sort of has the website ready, but not completely. So for example, I can't place the order because I don't have a payment method to it. And it is right now in dollars, but I want it in rupees. So I want to change the currency, or it doesn't have the products that I want, or it doesn't have the categories that I want. So there are many things that are still to be done. But getting your basic structure, the skeleton up in the last 10 minutes, this is what I have done, and you have your website ready for all practical purposes. So that's kind of relatively easy part of it. Now, of course, the huge effort that will come in actually developing it and making it functional. So that's where you start to look at saying the next step is actually designing your website.